Hey everyone, Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. Welcome to another one of my videos on investing. Today I'm going to talk about fix and flipping, how much to repair, how much not to repair, based on a number of different factors. So I've got a lot of flips going, about 15 going right now, and it's tricky figuring out how much to do, how much not to do, how much to spend. It's very easy to go overboard and spend a lot of money. But we're going to talk about that and hopefully help you out on figuring out the best strategy to repairing your flips. Before we get into it, of course, check out investformore.com. It's my blog. I've got over 450 free articles, a weekly podcast, all kinds of great resources. I've got my fix and flip book, rental property book. You can check those out on Amazon as well. And as far as videos go, I have a lot of other videos on investing, rentals, flips, being an agent. I'm also a real estate agent. And then I have before and after videos on just about every fix and flip I do, and most of my rentals as well. So, hope you check those out and enjoy them. And now on to this video. So I've had two flips this year. I've had, more flips than that, but two flips I want to talk about. One, I bought from a wholesaler for, I think it was $143,000. It's a tri-level house, decent shape, but needed updating. The kitchen was old, the bathrooms were old, the carpet was old, the paint was old, windows were old, roof was bad, needed a lot of work. But the question was, would updating the entire house make it worthwhile compared to the cost of updating the entire house? And I ended up doing kind of wholesale, minor work on this property, roof, some electrical work, HVAC, and we put a new carpet. We didn't paint, we didn't do the kitchens, we didn't do the bathrooms, we didn't do the windows. And that house ended up selling for $250,000, which was about what we thought it would sell for if we'd done the whole thing. Redone the carpet, we did the carpet, but painted everything, done the kitchens, done the bathrooms, done the windows, just gone the whole 9 yards. And it kind of opened my eyes to, if I don't need to do all this work, I don't need to repair everything on a house, why am I repairing everything on properties? Because it saves so much time, hassle to deal with the contractors, and appraisal issues as well. Because when you're repairing a house to be the nicest in the neighborhood, you're going to run into appraisal problems where the buyer's lender has to get an appraisal done to make sure the house is worth what you say it is. If they know their property's selling for as much as what you're trying to sell your house for, the appraisal might come in low, and all that work will not matter anyway because you have to shell out $10,000, $20,000 more to make up for the low appraisal that your buyers just got. So there's a lot to think about here. On another house I bought, almost a year ago. We just sold it the other day. My contractor convinced me to do an addition. He's like, hey, we can do just an addition for this much. They'll add 2 bedrooms, a bathroom. The house needs a bunch of work. We have to tear down part of it anyway. It's going to be a really good idea to do this addition. And I kind of let him talk me into it. I shouldn't have let him do it. But we did the addition. It went way over budget. He took way longer than he thought he would. And he didn't even end up finishing the job. We had to bring in another contractor to finish it because he went so far over budget. He got so far in over his head, he couldn't even finish it. It was a nightmare. We still made money on the house somehow, but it cost way more than we thought, took way longer than we thought, and I would have made much more money had I done minimal repairs, not done the addition, got the house done quickly, and sold it quickly. And that's really what people need to consider when they're flipping houses is, it'd be great to make every house look like a show home and absolutely have amazing tile and fixtures and kitchen and bathrooms and everything look new and hip, but is it making you more money? Is it helping your bottom line? And I think you have to look at your market and your own budgets, what it costs you to figure that out. If you're in a trendy urban center where that stuff sells and it makes a difference, maybe it's worthwhile. If you're dealing in $1 million flips, maybe it's worthwhile to do all that stuff. If you're in the lower part of the spectrum, the starter homes, homes where people are just trying to afford something that they can buy, it probably doesn't make sense to go all out on them. You're going to run into appraisal issues, and sometimes people just don't care about that stuff as much as you think they do. They want to know about bedrooms, square footage, if it has a garage, make sure the systems are in decent shape, their inspection goes well, and that's what they care about. They don't care about the fancy shower or the fancy kitchen appliances. So think about what you're doing when you're flipping. It helps when you have a lot of flips going at once, and you can kind of experiment with a few of them to see how they do, like I did, and develop a strategy for efficiency, time management, and repair budgets. Because the bigger jobs you take on, the longer they'll take. The longer you have a flip, the more you're paying in interest on your loan, you're paying property taxes, you're paying homeowners insurance, you're paying HOA dues, you're paying lawn maintenance, you're paying snow removal, you're paying utilities for gas, water, electric, all of that every day you own a flip. And that adds up to a lot of money. The shorter you can make your construction time, your repairs time, the more money you're going to make and the more problems you're going to avoid as well. So when I do my flips now, if you look at a lot of my before and after flips, I'm going through them really, in a detailed fashion, trying to figure out what we can do and what we can't do. Some of the last ones, maybe the carpet was, smelly, had pet urine. Of course we're going to fix that. Almost every house we replace the flooring. Carpet, hardwood, whatever it is, almost all of them we replace that. However, kitchens. If the kitchen is not horrible, maybe we can paint the cabinets white. Maybe we can replace the countertops. Maybe we can just replace the appliances and it's going to be serviceable. Again, this depends on your market, what your competition is. You should be out there looking at other houses selling in your neighborhood, seeing what they're selling for. But you might not have to spend, $7,000 to $8,000 to replace that kitchen. And yes, you can spend that much money to replace the kitchen. We use Home Depot for almost all of our materials. We have a Managed Pro account, save a lot of money. You don't have to go to fancy designer stores to buy your materials. Again, it probably will not be worth the money you spend. When you look at home builders, new construction houses, there's a reason they call it builder quality. Yes, the stuff they use is not the most expensive, but it's the most cost efficient. For them to make money building houses, they can't put the most expensive fixtures in every house. It just doesn't make financial sense. They put in decent things that are, I wouldn't say cheap, but they're not the most expensive either. And that's what you have to think of as a flipper as well. Are people still going to buy this house if we spend $7,000 on the kitchen instead of $25,000? Most likely, yes. Same thing for bathrooms. The tile. Are they so outdated that you have to replace them? Or can maybe you replace the vanity top, replace the fixtures, and you'll be okay. The tub, do you have to replace the tub, or can it be cleaned up? There's so many things you can look at on a flip where you can try and save money and make it more profitable and get done sooner than if you're going all out on it. Paint, we almost always do paint. It's very rare we don't do paint except on that one property, but the paint really wasn't that bad there. Light fixtures, most of the time we'll replace light fixtures. Most of the time we'll replace doors and windows. But again, there's some properties where we're starting to look at it now and say, hey, do we really need to replace these windows? If they're really ugly aluminum windows, probably. But I bought a few very old houses that were built, one was built in 1918, one was built in 1920. And they have the old wood windows still that are really cool. Now, they're not the most energy efficient, but I can say, hey, these are original windows. They're pretty cool. They've got maybe some historic value. We don't have to replace these. And maybe we'll find some people who will feel the same way about them. Now, that's something to consider. Same thing with doors. Are they going to be painted? Do you have to replace them all? There's just so many different things to look at when you're flipping a house on what to do, what not to do. Exterior paint, again, same thing. Do you need to paint it? Can you get away with it? If there's some siding bad, do you need to re-side the whole house, or can you patch it in? Can you replace a few pieces of siding? I bought a few houses that had the asbestos siding on it, where, probably 2 foot by 1 foot pieces of siding that's kind of curved and has weird lines on it. It's made of asbestos. Asbestos usually won't hurt you if you don't disturb it. If you're not out there breaking it up and inhaling the dust from it, it's probably not going to do anything. But some of those pieces can break, and someone might want to re-side the entire house because of those broken pieces. Well, you can buy those pieces from companies online that look exactly the same that aren't made of asbestos. So you can take off a couple pieces, replace them. Of course, go by your own county, city guidelines on how to replace those and dispose of them. But there's a lot of things you can do to save money there. For roofs, if the roof is bad on a flip, we fix it because we know the inspector's going to see it. He's going to tell us we have to fix it anyway. If it's got major electrical problems, we fix those because we know the inspector is going to see it, see the problems, and we want the house to be safe as well. Same thing for heating, air conditioning. We always fix those as well. Plumbing, we'll fix it. So there are some things that we want to fix that are safety items or we know the inspector is going to ask for. But as far as windows, doors, kitchens, baths, cosmetics, sometimes you don't have to do as much as you think you have to do to sell the property. And sometimes being not the most expensive house in the neighborhood is an advantage due to appraisals and reaching a broader audience as well. After all, the less expensive your house is, the more people who can afford it and the bigger market you have to sell it to. Well, there's all types of things to consider when flipping properties, figuring out how much to fix and what not to fix. But just remember, you don't have to go all out. You don't have to do everything. And you don't have to let your contractor tell you what to do either. A lot of contractors will want to fix as much as they can. They'll want to go overboard. They'll want to add on. They'll want to replace everything. And remember, it's your money. You're the one paying them. You're the one spending all the money on this house, not the contractor. They want work. The bigger job they get, the more money they make. So you have the ability to tell them what to do and what not to do. Don't let them boss you around. Don't let them tell you how to make money on a flip. Because I have a lot of contractors who tell me the best way to do my job, and they don't exactly know how to flip houses or what the best way to do things is. After all, they're not flipping themselves, and they don't know the real estate market like I do. So hopefully this video helps you out a little bit. I also have an article going over kind of the same concept with a little more detail. If you want to check out my blog, I'll have that linked in the description to this video. And yeah, make sure you check out my other videos and investformore.com for everything that's going on with me. Thanks for watching. If you have a question or comment, leave it below and I will reply as soon as I can. Thanks a lot.